Hi, I'm Danielle Robinson, and this is the Danielle Robinson YouTube podcast, where we look at culture, power, and the invisible forces shaping modern life. Today, we're confronting something that's no longer confined to back alleys or broken homes. It's everywhere, in law, in language, in algorithms. This is the new war on women, and it's being waged in code, commerce, and culture. For most of history, violence was visible. It left bruises and broken bones, the kind of evidence that could be counted, photographed, denied. But gender-based violence has always been more than physical. It's the quiet systems of control that teach women to doubt themselves, to soften, to stay, to survive. The World Health Organization calls it the most persistent human rights violation on Earth. 1 in 3 women will experience physical or sexual violence in her lifetime. But those numbers don't even begin to count what happens in private messages, pay gaps, or courtrooms, because violence isn't only an act, it's a culture, a continuum stretching from the everyday indignity to the catastrophic assault. When power shifts, violence shifts with it. And as women gained legal rights, social agency, and digital visibility, the tactics of control followed. Once, violence was hidden, a family secret. Now, it's broadcast. The internet has turned women's bodies and boundaries into public property again. It's what researchers call technology-facilitated gender-based violence. Cyberstalking, doxing, revenge porn, and deepfakes. Today, an image doesn't even need to be real to ruin a life. Artificial intelligence can fabricate sexual images so convincingly that friends, colleagues, even family can't tell the difference. By 2025, 96% of deepfake videos online are pornographic, and nearly all of them target women. It's not about sex, it's about power, the right to define, distort, and distribute a woman's image without her consent. And it's not isolated. It's connected to every other form of control. The boss who humiliates, the partner who monitors, the troll who threatens. Different stages of the same ideology that women's safety is conditional and their silence preferable. The question isn't whether we have laws, it's why they don't work. By 2024, over 3/4 of countries have legislation addressing domestic or sexual violence. Yet conviction rates remain abysmally low. Why? Because systems are designed for compliance, not compassion. Police dismiss domestic disputes. Courts delay hearings until evidence fades. Platforms profit from outrage but plead neutrality when harm spreads. We call this administrative violence, the harm done through bureaucracy, disbelief, and neglect. And it's not abstract. Every time a survivor is told to go home and sort it out, every time an algorithm amplifies hateful clicks, the architecture of impunity expands. It's not a broken system, It's a working system, just not for women. What we call freedom of speech often looks different depending on who's speaking. Online, women who express opinions are met with vitriol, threats, and coordinated harassment. A 2024 study on digital fear and gender found that women are 3 times more likely than men to self-censor online. The cost isn't just personal, it's democratic. Because when women retreat from the public square, discourse narrows. This is what I call the fear economy, where silence becomes the currency of survival. It's not just harassment, it's social engineering. The message is simple: speak and we'll make you regret it. And so many stop speaking. And that silence, multiplied by millions, becomes the sound of victory for those who want the world smaller, simpler, and less equal. Violence against women has always been about control: physical, psychological, economic. But now that control is digital. The same hand that once slammed a door now presses upload. The same systems that once surveilled wives now track users. The same entitlement that justified ownership of bodies now monetizes their images. It's a seamless continuum from the home to the cloud. And it's no coincidence that this new violence grows alongside surveillance capitalism, because outrage is profitable. Fear keeps users scrolling. Algorithms, like patriarchy, are built to optimize engagement, not empathy. But women aren't just surviving this era, they're rewriting it. Across the world, survivors, technologists, and advocates are building counter-systems, AI tools that detect deepfakes, encrypted platforms that document abuse safely, and educational programs that teach digital consent. Grassroots groups like #NotYourPorn in Spain or Project Reclaim in Canada are demanding that platforms fund victim compensation. That profit must carry responsibility. And feminist technologists are asking the same question. What if safety were designed into technology, not patched in after harm? Because prevention isn't just about policing men, it's about reprogramming systems that were never neutral to begin with. We're living through a new moral revolution, one that will define whether the digital future is liberating or predatory. The old wars over women's bodies were fought in law, religion, and family. The new ones are being fought in data, design, and code. The stakes are not just gendered, they're human. Because every erosion of safety for women signals a loss of freedom for everyone. The goal isn't just to end violence, it's to build a world where safety is structural, not situational, where dignity isn't dependent on discretion, and where technology serves liberation, not domination. Because violence was never just physical. It was never just private, and it was never just about women. It was, and still is, about power. In closing, I'd like to add that this series is dedicated to my daughter and all other women who have been victims of physical, sexual, emotional, and technological abuse. Please know that I'm speaking to you as someone who has been deep in the horror of watching someone I would give my life for suffer at the hands of a monster. This conversation, The New War on Women, continues on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, where I explore these stories in depth with experts, survivors, and researchers. If this video resonated with you, please subscribe, ring the bell, and share it. Not for the algorithm, but to make visible what has been normalized for too long. Because silence was never safety, it was strategy. And the first act of resistance is to speak.